My name is Paul Balfour, and my story started back in 1999 when my wife Pam was diagnosed with brain cancer. It's a pretty tough time for us. We had a 12-day-old baby at the time. Pam had major surgery and had about a year of chemotherapy and radiation treatments following that. And after that, though, that year of treatment, she was kind of pronounced disease-free, and we had a great 5 years. Unfortunately, Pam had a relapse at that time, and when you get a relapse with that type of brain cancer, it's definitely not good news, and she fought a tough battle for another year, but passed away about 6 years ago. So I've been involved with the cancer cause for a long time, and I guess through Pam's death and through some of the charity work I've done here in Vancouver and British Columbia, I kind of thought I was protected against cancer and that my family was protected against cancer. I figured I'd paid my cancer dues. But cancer doesn't really discriminate that way, and unfortunately my son was diagnosed with leukemia last July, and so Alex is in the 8th month of his fight against cancer, and fortunately his prognosis is excellent, and the reason his prognosis is excellent is because of the research that's been going on for the last 20 years. About 3 or 4 years ago I got involved with the BC Cancer Foundation. I'd worked with some of the doctors, some of Pam's doctors, and helped finance a couple of things to them. And it never ceases to amaze me how far $20,000 goes on a project, or $100,000 can go on a research project. I was on the board of the BC Cancer Foundation until about a year ago, and about 3 years ago, I guess, a gentleman by the name of Nick Locke brought an idea to us about the Ride to Conquer Cancer, which is now in its 3rd year in Vancouver. I think in our inaugural year we raised a little over $6 million, and last year we raised over $9 million. It's quite an event. You have to be there to really experience it, but it is a very, very cool event. Registration is closed now for the ride. Unfortunately, we don't have room for any more riders, but we still need lots of volunteers. We still need crew members. The crew members are what make this ride happen, so if you want to help and you don't think cancer can happen to you, it can happen, and please, we need your help. What keeps me going is, I guess, seeing the progress that we've made in cancer over the years. Survival rates in childhood leukemia, for instance, were something like 50% 20 years ago. Today they're probably in excess of 80%, 90%, depending on the variety you have. The same would be true of many cancers. Testicular cancer we've made huge progress on. We've made huge progress on the research in breast and prostate cancer, but there are other cancers, like brain cancer, where we've made very little progress. We need more research to be done there. Vancouver is an interesting place, and literally world-class research is being done right here in Vancouver at the BC Cancer Agency and at the Genome Science Centre. Articles by researchers at the Genome Science Centre and the BC Cancer Agency have been published in the journal Nature, I don't know, about 4 or 5 times in just the last year. And if you're a scientist getting published in Nature, it's a big deal. That research is making the world sit up and take notice of what's going on right here in Vancouver, and money from this ride is going to help keep that going. You'll find more information on the web, conquercancer.ca. You'll hear some spots on the radio. I think it's 3 degrees of separation. If you don't know someone who's doing the ride, you know someone who knows someone that's doing the ride. It's a big undertaking for the riders. I mean, this takes a lot of commitment. They commit to raising a minimum of $2,500. It's a 260-kilometer ride over 2 days. I think it's something anyone can do, but it takes a lot of training, it takes a lot of commitment, and I think that's what makes it so special. When you're at the start line, all the people have been there, they've all been training for months, they've all been fundraising for months, they're raring to go. Just about everybody's got a cancer story. I'm always impressed with the people who don't have a relative with cancer, but just think the ride is a good thing to do. It's very gratifying. I can't describe the atmosphere that's there, but you know, at the end of the day, it's about raising money to keep those researchers going.